All right, I'm back. All right, so in this video, we're just gonna kind of look at how schools of philosophy kind of infiltrate the media with their ideas. And now, if it was more balanced, I wouldn't probably think that there was something sinister behind it. But the fact is that if you analyze, hundreds or thousands of the most popular movies, they never have like some weird esoteric like Christian plot to it. It's always this weird like Freemasonry or occult science type of Kabbalah stuff, right? Like there's too many movies to list, and obviously some movies don't have it in it. But a good clue or a good rule of thumb is when the public says that the movie is horrible, but the movie gets high acclaim by critics. And the reason why the public says that the movie's horrible is because they didn't understand the ending of the movie. That's a good clue to it's one of these like occult type of movies with like an occult philosophy in it. When people say, I didn't quite understand that movie. I didn't understand what they were getting at in that movie. But then it's like supposed to be like this super popular movie for some reason. I mean, it doesn't happen as much anymore because of the internet, but we'll get into that in part 2. This is just a basic kind of like understanding of how these ideas get into the media. And then because people are watching the media with a suspension of disbelief, they let down their guard. They let the ideas into their imagination, right? Like when you're reading a book, like, you paint a scene through the like author's like words in your mind of what the characters are doing, what the background looks like and stuff like that. And it's going into a certain part of your mind that bypasses like your rational thinking. So that's why it's like you have to be very cautious about what type of like media and stuff you intake. So we'll first look at this movie, Civil War. I guess it's like a recent movie that just came out. Alex Jones has been talking about this for a while, but honestly, I don't really watch any of these new movies anymore because I already know it's going to be like this type of crap. And so usually I won't really watch anything past like 2010. And the like earlier, the better. Like the 80s are great year, or great decade. 90s is pretty good still. I think one of the main things you'll notice is that after 2000, like all the style and everything just melts together. So it's like you can't really tell if a movie's from like 2000 or 2010 or 2015 like you could in the earlier decades. But the one thing that you could tell is by the cell phone, right? You can tell a movie's from 2000 to 2010 or 2000 to 2000 or 2010 to 2015 based on the cell phones that the characters have. Like that's the only difference. Everything else is like monoculture. So, all right, we're going to look at this movie. I never looked at this, right? But apparently, it's this movie about a modern civil war that takes place and then they kill the white president or something like that. That's supposed to be like Trump, and they're saying he's like an authoritarian dictator, and that's why they had to kill him. Okay, yeah, we get it. Okay. So the director, Alex Garland, right? And I looked at what he was up to, and he's made a lot of these types of movies. A lot, right? 28 Days Later, I watched that when it came out. And what is it about, right? It's about the government releases a virus. The virus turns everybody into zombies, right? Which is basically killing them. And then the military takes over and takes all the women, right? Like that's what the movie's about. Then it's like the Judge Dredd, super city, ghetto projects where super authoritarian cops go around killing people without any due process, right? Then of course Ex Machina, where the feminist robot kills the simp and the pickup artist, right? This is the one where they go into the mushroom world with Natalie Portman, right? And then they're in some weird trip world where they have like superpowers or whatever with their mind. Okay. Never saw this one. Then there's the Civil War, and then these are the two continuations of. I never saw those either. Then he's also The Beach, which at first it seems like it's some like weird drug movie, but then, you know, when you get to the end, it's actually about some weird communist style Malthusian cult that wants to kill everybody, and it's like Lord of the Flies type of stuff, right? So then if we go down, we can see that he's listed as an English atheist or British atheist. So we can see right here, category, English atheists. There he is, Alex Garland. So he's an official atheist, right? And then he makes these dystopian movies like 28 Days Later and Ex Machina, right? And The Beach, right? So we'll just watch a little bit of the trailer of this final trailer, I guess.
All across America, critics are raving about the movie event of the year.
It is American, 100%. That's what I'm talking about.
Cool.
So you can see, right, it's got a 93% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Going to DC.
And it's like, what's the point of making a movie like this when there's already kind of like civil tensions? Why wouldn't they make a positive movie like about people coming together, you know, and kind of like resolving their differences, but instead they want to make a movie like this, right? So it's kind of, you know, and then you see the guy's atheist, right? And then we kind of know what atheists believe, right?
Fucking shit!
You watch. Soon as DC falls, they'll turn on each other.
See, you know, they're showing
Whatever
blowing up the
happens,
national monuments and
Oh my
stuff
God.
like that.
You don't want to miss this.
God bless America.
And it's just like, yeah, it's just cool. It's cool. See it in hyper 3D realistic thing, you know?
Civil War. Rated
So,
R.
yeah,
Get
you know.
tickets now.
It's kind of obvious like why they're pushing that instead of, you know, they could easily make a positive movie, you know, and they say, oh, well, people don't want to see a positive movie. I think people do kind of want to see a positive movie. So then you might say, okay, well, that's just one example, right? That's just one example. Okay. So then if we look at, you know, Malthusianism, right? Then we can see that, you know, neo-Malthusianism is the advocacy of human population planning to ensure resources and environmental integrities for current and future human populations as well as for other species, right? But then here it says, critics, like basically everybody, Georgists, I never even heard of them, Marxists, socialists, libertarians, free market, feminists, Catholics, human rights, all characterize it as excessively pessimistic and insufficiently researched. This is the main thing. They will claim that, oh, it's totally true, that we know the population numbers and we did all the calculations, and if we don't get rid of this many people, then we'll all die. Right? We'll all die if we don't start getting rid of some of the low status people, right? The low value people. We got to get rid of the low value people first. And then people don't get it, then you'll be the low value person next. You'll be, then once they get rid of all the people under you, then you're the low value person. Then you're the lowest value. Then it's like, oh, well, we got to get rid of the low value people. It's like, oh, well, wait, right? See, misanthropic, meaning like against humans. See? because that's what they thought in like the 1800s. And then once they started doing modern farming techniques, it actually increased the population way above what they had predicted. And it was a better thing, right? So then how does this end up in movies, right? We see Avengers Endgame. And then the main quote unquote bad guy is pushing these ideas throughout the movie. I thought that by eliminating half of life, the other half would thrive. But you have shown me that's impossible. Yeah, because if you kill everybody, then it kind of fucks up nature. See, he's talking about the hardest choices require the strongest wills, like as if it's like a good thing to want to kill everybody, right? See, he's saying he stopped. See, this is like the Malthusian idea that he stopped the collapse by killing half of the people, right? By getting rid of all the people. See, this whole concept of getting rid of half of humanity, right? And then we look in real life and it's like, what is it? It's getting close to like 45% of childbearing year women are have 0 children, right? And this idea of getting rid of half of the people is just pushed in the media, right? It's just pushed in the media, like and this movie, you know, like they had everybody hyped up, and they had a sub-genre movie for every person. We got one for women, we got one for black people, for Hispanics, for disabled people. Get into the Marvel universe. We've got one for you. We've got one that's going to bring you in to the fold of the Marvel universe, right? Oh, you're a rich guy, you associate with Tony Stark, right? You know, you're an athlete, you're like the Incredible Hulk, you're whoever, you know, they're bringing everybody in to this string, right, of the Marvel movies, and they're bringing you all in, and everybody's got a character that they identify with, whether it's Captain Marvel or whoever, whichever character you were like, this is my character. Oh, I got to see this one movie, right? Then they get you tied in to the big build-up of the final film is we got to kill half of the people, right? It's the big emotional like build up, because you got to look at the movie, the way that they planned them out all at the same time. It's just one thing, right? So you can't just look at each individual movie. It's like the climax of it was this whole like Endgame Thanos thing, right? And it's like, and then they just hit you. You're like, everybody's in, everybody's watching, everybody's talking about it. And they're like, did you hear about the killing half of the people? Right? And it's the same in the Matrix, right? Right? Human beings are a disease, a cancer of the planet. You are a plague. We are the cure, right? The same talk. You multiply until every natural resource is consumed. Malthusianism. It's Malthusianism, right? Right. So then we go over to Planned Parenthood, right? Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood, development of the birth control pill, leader of birth control movement, contraceptives, early termination, right? Adherent of the eugenics movement, also influenced by Malthusian concerns. You see what I'm saying? So these people have the same philosophy. They all have the same philosophy, right? That's why it's in this movie. This, like, word for word. That's why it's in this movie. They got to bring every single type of person, category of person into the Marvel universe to build up to reveal that we got to kill half the people. right? And then you're just like, yo, bro, you're nuts, though. You're nuts. This isn't real. It's not real. You see what I'm saying? Malthusianism is real. People that are doing real life things to actually reduce the birth rate believe in Malthusianism, and then it's in the movies, word for word, in some cases. And you just sit back and you watch the movie, eating your popcorn, relaxing, and then you don't even know. And then you're like, yeah, you wake up the next day, or you're talking to a friend and they're talking about environmentalism, and you're like, yeah, why don't we just get rid of all the people? You know what? Human beings are kind of like a cancer, right? Okay, you need more proof, right? Okay, so the Lego movie is actually a Gnostic film. So you'd think, right? Okay, a movie for little kids, how could that have Gnostic like values in it, right? But that's exactly what it's about, right? It's about the kid is supposed to be like the Demogorgon, right? Okay, so let's go into Gnosticism real quick, right? See, the Gnostic worldview typically distinguishes between a hidden, uncorrupted supreme being and a flawed demiurge, right? So it's the same concept in Dogma, the movie Dogma, right? We're going to have to go back to this to talk about the golden calf thing. But it's the same concept in the movie Dogma, right? Where, because this is also a Gnostic movie. This is also a Gnostic philosophy movie where there's the amnesic god that's like playing skeet ball at the boardwalk in Jersey, and he's in a coma, and that's why Satan was able to, or these two guys, these two angels, whatever, the fallen angels, these two fallen angels basically mean Satan, were allowed to roam free to control the world because the true good God that actually created existence was in a coma and unable to attend to the universe, right? And that's the same exact plot of the Lego movie, right? That Will Ferrell, the dad, he's the dad, but he doesn't have time to spend with his son. And then his son is playing the Demogorgon and messing around in the Lego universe, which is supposed to be like the regular world, right? That's the world where we live, is the Lego universe. And then the son is the Demogorgon. And then Will Ferrell, the father, is supposed to be the amnesic god because he doesn't have time to spend with his son. And then so his son is running rampant in the world that he created, that the father created, right? See, it sounds crazy, but they put it in a kid's movie. You see what I'm saying? Like they put and this came out in 2008, and now everybody's a Gnostic now. And you're just like, it's just a coincidence. It's just a coincidence that now everybody's a Gnostic. That all the young guys watched it in 2008 when they were a kid, right? And now everyone's like, man, this world must be created by the devil. I don't even want to live anymore. All the world is suffering and evil. And look, there's a lot of bad stuff going on, but like it's a specific philosophy of that where it's like the world is created by the devil, and we have to escape the world because the world itself is evil, right? See, Gnostics held this material existence to be evil and believed the principal element of salvation was direct knowledge of a supreme divinity, right? Attained through mystical or esoteric insight. So basically they just know that God exists, and then they also believe that this world was created by Satan or the demiurge, right? And then you have the same theme, the same, it's like, it's undeniable that that's the theme, right? And then the whole tyrannical businessmen trying to stop time, that's like a Freemasonic idea. Like, I can't find the reference to it right now because it's like in like books that I used to have, but like it's a thing. It's a thing like in Freemasonry about like stopping time in order to, because they view history as like cycles, similar to kind of to like how the Indians do with the like yugas and stuff like that. And so their plan is to stop time when they're in control instead of letting it go through the cycles of history. Right here, let me show you. This tarot card kind of makes sense. See, they had a TV show for the tarot card, right? See, here we go. So see how the wheel, and this one, it has the Sphinx on the top. And wait, hold up. Let's go to get the Aleister Crowley one because it's better. Oh, I forgot to spell it. CH. See, this one makes more. I'm sorry. He explains why the ones that he makes more sense, and see how the snake is trying to hold on, and this one, the Sphinx, is on the top, which is the same in the Arthur Waite deck, and then the monkey is on the side trying to hold on because it's representing that the powers, the different types of like human powers or whatever, how you ever want to look at it, cycle through time. And then one group or one type of like ideology or whatever classification comes into power for a season, because this also represents like the zodiac, right? Because it's a circle of animals, right? That's what zodiac means, circle of animals. So it's representing how, oh, the Arthur Waite one has the devil on the bottom and then the Sphinx on the top. See, and the snake represents the devil too. So you see, oh yeah, you can see the snake on the side too. So it's like, it's representing the same thing, right? And it's cycling through time. And so what the Freemasons want to do is they want to like stop, the Lego movie. So they want to stop time from cycling through the different cycles of the powers so that so it stays in the cycle where they're in power. And it sounds nuts. But think about it. Everybody's always talking about the end of history, right? Right? What? Where's Mark Fisher, right? And it just sounds like it's like crazy, right? It's like, oh, this is nuts. What has this guy been talking about? The slow cancellation of the future, right? Yeah. Have you listened to Mark Fisher's lecture on the slow cancellation of the future? You see what I'm saying? The slow cancellation of the future. And that's what everybody's talking about. Like Quantum of Conscious talks about that all the time, how it's like, at least they used to give us like a good show. And now they don't even respect us enough to give like a good show. They just canceled the show. See what I'm saying? Right. And then we can even look at the golden calf, right? Where it's like in the Necronomicon, one of the societies that they talk about in the Necronomicon, they worship a golden calf, right? And that's in this movie too, right? And in all the other Kevin Smith movies that are in the same universe, right? Where the movie guys worship the golden calf, right? And if you read the Necronomicon and you read about the tribe that worships the golden calf, and you can see exactly what they're talking about, and then you'll be like, oh, this guy's actually not nuts, right? But you won't read it though. and I'm not going to sit here and read it to you. And it's like, so you see that the movie thing and the golden calf, and there's a tribe that worships a golden calf in, the Necronomicon, right? And you can read about it, and it's in other historical texts as well, right? And then the fallen angels, right? And then, okay, you want another one? You want another one? Okay, so what's Transformers about, right? The new Transformers movies, right? Oh man, I'm going over the time. All right, we'll just do this last one real quick. Right, the Transformers are fallen angels, right? They came down from space and they crashed, right? But they're like ancient beings that were created by the creator of the world, right? And then there's good ones and there's evil ones. See, the revenge of the fallen. The fallen. You see what I'm saying? The fallen. And then in Dogma, it's 2 fallen angels, right? And they're wrestling between good and bad and all this weird destiny type of stuff, like fate and destiny, and they have to do these weird rituals, and they have to get to this place at this time and do this thing, and then they have to get to this other place at this time, and everything's destined to happen, and it's destined, but at the same time they're tricking God. Like, they're not just making this stuff up on the fly. You think they just come up with this stuff on the fly? No. It's all coming from a specific thought school, right? Just like all this Malthusian stuff is just coming from a specific thought school. And if you can't identify the thought school and then also identify not to watch those type of movies or let them soak into your subconscious, you're just going to start unconsciously acting out or believing these type of philosophies because it's so ingrained into the culture, right? That it's good for a feminist robot to kill men. The government will release a virus that pretty much kills everybody, and then the military will take over and take all the women. Made by an atheist that wants to promote a civil war in a time of high tension, political tension in the United States, but he's British. British atheist stoking political tensions in the United States. That's all about viruses and robots killing people. All right. Okay. I know. It's Looney Tunes. I know. Cuckoo, cuckoo. All right. I'm out of here for now. I'll talk to you later. Until then, peace.